What's going on, YouTube? Vince here from Team Gins. I have today a deck profile for the first time in real life of my Gusto deck for the September 2012 ban list. This deck is incredibly fun to play. It's incredibly fast. If you like fast-paced decks like Dark Worlds and stuff, like this is a really fun deck to play. Some of the combos in this deck are so fun to troll your opponent, and it's ridiculous. Basically, if you open up with the right hand, you can just keep your life points safe for the whole duel. They won't even be able to touch you if you do with this deck the right way. So without further ado, here we go. First off is basically the main card of the deck, Gusto Guldo. You got to run 3. Guldo brings out either... he is going to bring out Gusto Eagle, and basically from there you can just loop the shit out of your opponent. You can just keep basically the point of this deck is to keep special summoning birds, winged beasts from your deck, the Gustos. It's so fun to play against like 6 Sams or like X Sabers or a deck that like try to swarm the field and then go for the OTK because like they'll run into this, and then you'll have a long string of winged beasts that just keep protecting your life points. You got to run 3 Gusto Eagle. When he's destroyed, you can bring out a level 4 or lower non-tuner Gusto. So basically, if it's like the end of your opponent's battle phase, you'll bring out maybe Musto or something like that, or Cam if you run it. Or you can run out Winda, Priestess of Gusto, and basically keep the loop going. So those 9 cards are the main ones. You need to run 3 of each for the loop. Next up for the Gustos, you have 2 Musto, Oracle of Gusto. He's really good. I basically would run him over Effect Veiler in this deck because he does the same kind of idea, except you can use him on your turn. But the only reason I like him better than Effect Veiler in this deck is because he fuels the loop, so you can use your cards again like Guldo and Eagle, which is always good. And the final Gusto that I'm running is Gusta Reese Whirlwind of Gusto. Most people will be like, why are you running her? She's 5 stars, you have to sacrifice for her. I'll get to that in a second. But her effect is so good, I just love running, because I love the whole creature swap thing, the combo that you could do with this deck. It's so much fun, and she's just another creature swap, except you get to choose which cards your opponent gets, so you can do a lot of really fun stuff with her. Onto the tech cards that make this deck run. 2 Dark Simorgh. This is a kind of Night Gusto deck that you run with dark monsters. Dark Simorgh is like awesome in this deck. You know, the Gustos don't really have a boss monster yet, so he really works great in this deck. You know, it's still fun to like get him out, and you know, a lot of decks can't run him because of how you have to special summon him, except for the Ninja variant. They use his the Ninja 2R trap card to get him out, but that's a little annoying, so that's why I like running him here. But we got next up 2 Serene Psychic Witch. I usually use her to get out Reese, or if I've already used Reese, I'll get out Gusto or something else. But Serene Psychic Witch is really fantastic in this deck. By the way, I'm not running Cam because I just haven't been able to pick Cam up yet, but for some weird reason she's really expensive, and the only thing that's expensive in Hidden Arsenal, so I'm going to, obviously once I get her, I'll take other stuff out of here, but for now this is what I have, and it still runs good. It's just Cam just speeds the deck up a little bit more and gives you a little extra draw power. But Serene Psychic Witch, you use her to get out Reese. Reese's effect is fantastic. Next up, Interplanetary Purply Thorny Dragon. He is absolutely a beast in this deck. Gustos are very small and are very easy to run over and get run over very fast. Interplanetary Purply Thorny Dragon gives you that huge extra plus, and it's basically a free 2200 beater. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And finally, the final monster that I run is 2 DD Crow. The main reason I run it is because it's good against so many decks this format. Second of all, if you have Dark Simorgh in your hand and you need that one last Dark in the graveyard, it's just so easy to pitch DD Crow and just get another Dark in the graveyard and bring out Dark Simorgh a lot easier. So, and also it helps make great Formula Synchron plays with Gusto. Which one's the 1-star one? It's Eagle, right? Yeah, it's Eagle. So that's the main reason that I'm running DD Crow. Not to mention it's just a fun card to use. Next up is Double Potted Duality. Even before it got limited to 2, I was only going to run Two in this deck, you do special summon a lot, but at the same time, the one thing that this deck doesn't have at the moment is draw power. So once I get cams, I might take them out because I do special summon a lot. But for now, it really is working just perfectly fine. I don't have any complaints. Next up is for the Gusto Magic cards. First up, Contact with Gusto. I love this card. You get to pop a card. It's does it have to be a monster? One card your opponent controls. So you just get to pop a card that your opponent controls, and you get to shuffle 2 Gustos into your deck, therefore refueling the whole loop in the engine that the Gustos have. So it's not a bad card at all, guys. And I do run 1 Quill Pen of Goldos. You know, it's basically a compulsory evacuation device, which I do like, but the only reason I run Quill Pen is just to, yet again, refuel the Gusto engine, because one thing you're going to learn about this deck is that it goes very fast, and if you don't use it, and if you don't like moderate the deck and like refuel the engine, you're going to run out of cards very quickly that you can use. Next up is Pot of Avarice. It's ridiculous in this deck. Absolutely ridiculous. 2 Creature Swap. Love this card in the deck. It's so much fun. Summon Gusto Guldo or Eagle. Use Creature Swap. Get an opponent's monster. Run over it. Get the special summon. You can sync with it. It's fantastic. Triple MST. Not really anything to say there. Heavy Storm doesn't really hurt me, so why not run it? Monster Reborn. Self-explanatory. And Dark Hole. Self-explanatory. Next up for the traps, which is pretty straightforward. Not much going on here that's too crazy. Just 1 Mirror Force. I think 2 is a little excessive. 1 Deep Prison. I only really like 1. The deck actually has a very good destruction system with Contact with Gusto and the Synchro, so I don't really worry about that too much. And I'm only running 1 Torrential Tribute just for the fact that you do have Field Present a lot in this deck because of the whole loop. So I only like the 1 Torrential. And finally, the Solemn Brigade, excuse me. 1 Judgment, 2 Warning. It's pretty standard. But that's the deck, guys. And I'm not going to go over the whole extra deck right now, but I want to go over 2 cards quickly. The first is obviously Formula Synchron. Formula Synchron in this deck is absolutely outrageous. It's very easy to get out. It helps with the draw power of the deck. It's a heavy synchro deck, so it really helps that it's a tuner as well. So Formula Synchron is like a really must-have in this deck, so that's why I run the DD Crow. So it's really, it's totally worth having Formula Synchron. And the only other card that I want to go over right now from the extra deck, I usually try and steer clear of archetype synchros that like need like a certain type of tuner or this and that. But I really love this card right here, Daigusto Guldos, and I use it probably in every duel. It's so easy to get out between the level 4s that you run and the level 1 tuners that you have. It's ridiculously easy to get out. You get to pop a card, and then you get to refuel the Gusto engine, which is really the most important thing to this card. But that's the deck overall, guys. I'm probably going to be doing a lot with this deck, this format. I might upload some duels with it, and I'm probably going to be changing a lot of stuff around once I get cams and stuff like that. But until then, take it easy, guys.